started, I was absolutely clueless. I just had a lack of confidence
Sure.
with anything dealing with financial statements or any in that realm.
Yep.
Um, I'll admit it, I was afraid.
Hmm.
I was just uninspired and just pretty much hopeless
Yeah.
when it comes to finances. And then where I'm at
Well,
right now
walk
is,
me through when you say afraid, like afraid to like nervous about this program or like nervous about finances or what do you mean by elaborate on that?
yeah, afraid of just what the future is
Sure.
like.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and in terms of afraid of the program, no, I pretty much understood clearly what I was getting myself involved with.
Hmm.
It was very much stated that you guys, the Budget Dog Academy, like even just, and I appreciate that from the beginning. It was like, this is who we are.
Yep.
And you did put the expectation that the responsibility is on me.
Sure.
And so anytime that I was not being in communication or just slacking off, I always knew that, you know what, this is life. This is,
Yep.
you are taking extreme ownership and responsibility of where you're at right now. So, you can't complain.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
So yeah, I was pretty much afraid of what the future was like, being a new dad, being a new relationship with my wife, and trying to understand how and I'm a stay-at-the-home dad. My wife is the breadwinner. So it was like I was very afraid of how those conversations would come up.
Sure.
And so, yeah. And so, like, even where I'm at right now is kind of the complete opposite of
Uh,
everything that I've listed down.
Amazing.
Um,
That's what
and
we want you to be
where
at.
I'm at right, pardon?
That's what we want you to get to.
Yeah, and you guys have a very strong foundation of just a strong foundation of the basics of how to honestly, like I loved it from the beginning when you guys talked about just making generational wealth. So that was where I'm at right now. I'm still not there yet, but man, I know what I have to do and just keep plugging away on the basics.
Amazing. Yeah.
So
And you got to think it's 6 months so far. So like all of the progress you made to build and set the set foundation for the generational wealth, that's on the way. That's coming. It's 100%
right.
guaranteed if we just continue the pathway, which is what we always talk about in the roadmap to financial freedom, like exactly that pathway. So that's really encouraging, man. Talk to me about that. Kind of what does that look like for you and your family? Because that's different for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's something that you have no idea what it's like, right? And you just listen to it. And when I look back into my own personal financial um afraid to pull the trigger, this is where I had to stop,
Yep.
you know? And it was always in my mind of like, how do I it's like I always had made conditions. I always made excuses of like, I'm not going to be in the United States because I'm an international. I'm not going to
Sure.
contribute to the Roth IRA. I'm not going to do this. So this program was a turning point to say that you need to pull the trigger, stop, stop making those excuses, and so that's where I'm at.
That's so incredible, man. It sounds like a big piece of the win here is just like the mindset around change and the mindset around starting something that you've always been scared to do or take that leap of faith. And I think it's something you can't really measure because like what that translates into in your real life for everything is going to be incredible. When you first, what was that thing that got you over the hump though? Like what, obviously you came in, you were worried about like different things, scared about the future, but what got you over that hump to start this program?
Community. Community means everything, man.
It
And
does.
being exposed to a community of individuals that are inspired, that are like driven to also, you know, be better for themselves and for their kids was just like, okay, I'm not alone in this. Like it's just given me a little bit of a direction that because in your head you just imagine things like this is
All the
what
time.
a successfully financial person, and like you read, social media is like 5 minutes or five snippets, but here you guys are plugging away every week and being showing up, and you're just like, okay, it's not just that simple, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yep.
being in that community and having people like Tom and people reaching out to you and seeing the just the boards, you're like, yeah, this is legit. So
It's
that's what
incredible,
got
man.
me over the hump.
I mean, we've obviously you've had a lot of wins and that mindset shift, but we had, two recent students, Tatiani and also Natalie, come through with just absolutely huge wins. One of them had a $122,000 net worth increase in 1 year. The other one's increased 200,000 in 2 years. And these are individuals that were also scared, also on the, on the fence and wondering, hey, is this the right fit for me and all this kind of stuff. But what we're seeing every day is exactly what you're exemplifying, is that finally changing your life. And finally, it's so much bigger than finance. It's really translates down to every single level of your life: finance, fitness, faith, family, all those types of things. And it's encouraging to even hear you talk about it, just where you're at today.
Absolutely. And that's again, and that's I know that, we did have a start and end date, but it's definitely not an end date for me. It's like
Agreed. That's the
just
best thing about
keep
this.
right. And I mean it's an ongoing thing and I do love it. I do absolutely love the fact that we're just plugging away every day and it's yeah, man, my little one is growing and we're looking now into like schools and all that.
Yep.
And it's like, great. I don't know. Don't have to live in this fear of this imaginary number. It's like I plug it in a way. I look at my wife and we say, can we do this? And what's really cool about this is that it's really inspired me to start looking for side hustles,
Amazing.
really like pushing myself to be like, this is what my worth is.
So cool.
And so yeah, that's what's it's just good to know the variables. Like it's great to play the game when you start knowing the rules. You
It,
start having a lot more fun,
that was
right?
the best way to explain it right there.
Right?
I always say if you don't know the rules, you're not going to play well. But if you learn, and we're not expected to, man. We don't. No one learns this stuff. No one teaches this stuff.
Right.
I didn't know crap at 22 years old, and then I basically self-taught myself, educated myself, and that's why I think the power of education is so strong. What would you tell somebody, man, like somebody that's on this fence or someone on the sidelines, worried to get started? They're in the position you were, maybe let's say before pre-academy, where you were just nervous about the future. What would you tell the individual?
Honestly, again, going back to it, it is community means everything. Your
Hmm.
environment changes everything. So when you are in an environment with other individuals who are really striving, again, going back to that generational wealth,
Yep.
it makes a lot more sense.
Love it.